Reggie Love.
What's up,
And we're in a bit of a different environment than the background that you were accustomed to seeing. But it's all right, because we got a lot going on this weekend. We got a lot of things happening for us. So we had to move and change some stuff around in order to have more space, more room, all this good stuff like that. And I wanted kind of a home environment type of feel to this week's show. So we got a little bit of some stuff to talk about. Okay, we got a little bit of some stuff to talk about. There's been a lot of stuff happening in the news this week, last week, this past weekend, to where it's just it's hard to really encompass informing you all on the things that has been happening around us. We got a wow event video. Just one, okay? Just one. Not three this time. Just one, because this one is like a compilation of a bunch of different stuff at one time, okay? So this one wow event is a lot to unpack in there, but it's definitely going to make you say, wow, okay? Wow. And then we have the topic of the night, which most of you probably have already seen, happening in the news around us concerning Trump.
Hey.
And the thing
is America great.
For who? For who? Okay. And this is election year. So we're gonna dive into a little bit of that. You know, I want to learn you something tonight. I want to educate you on this election stuff. Most people probably don't even really understand or know why they do it. They just do it because it's a custom. It's a tradition. You know, your mama voted, your daddy voted, your grandma voted, your great grandma voted. You know, and I don't think anyone really just know
why we vote.
Know why. Know the purpose behind it, and why most feel like if you don't vote, you're guilty. It's your fault that the wrong person got in office. Yeah, and they use that too.
They use that a lot.
They use that a lot.
My ancestors died.
Yeah. They use that guilt trip. That's what I call it, a guilt trip analogy. I ain't got it either. And that's the reason why they call it the right to vote, because then that means you have an option to do it or to not do it. And this is one of those special type times of year where you have the Democrat and the Republican Party going full out on support of their candidates, but more so on the persuasion of the American people. Mm-hmm. And typically around this time of the year, the Democrats come out full 100%, okay? Aiming for the minority votes the most.
I think they both aiming for the minority. Now you seen Trump.
Oh yeah. And now Trump look like he aiming for the minority vote as well. But
we're say, wait.
It's so much that's happening in this week that I just can't I can't wrap my head around it. So we will get into that. But first and foremost, Reggie, how you been? How this week been?
Man, you know me, just staying on the ground, just picked up a couple shows coming up
okay.
Next few months. So I'm still on the grind, man.
Okay, you want to tell people about the shows?
Hey, well, a couple back to school bashes coming up. I'm hosting my own back to school coming August 24th at the Mount Church at 5:30. We're gonna have a nice load of artists coming through, and we're gonna have some supplies to give out to all the kids. So all the kids out there, make sure you come out. We're gonna have some supplies for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so back to school.
Back to school back.
Back to school back.
August 24th.
August 24th.
Mount Church.
The Mount Church. Okay. So if you want to skip the process of having to fight through the lines of Walmart, scrape and scrounge over what's left in some of these stores and stuff, here's a nice event. Where you can get your kids some back to school supplies
and some good music.
Okay?
And might have a little food.
Might have a little food. I know a few of these events that I've been to, they've had food. Okay, and it smelled delicious.
And this is the Grab the Mic 4 back to school bags.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So you definitely want to make sure you following Reggie Love on his Facebook and his Instagram accounts.
Reggie Love 2020.
Reggie Love 2020. So that you can keep up with the latest updates on the events he's got going on, the Grab the Mic events he has going on, and a plethora of other things this man has going on as well. So And as for me, we are still, and I say still, going to do the live in-person session of Shed
That's gonna be
Vibez.
crazy.
Okay? That's definitely gonna be crazy because I definitely plan on having some artists to come through, so you get not only the show but the live performance of entertainers as well. And then next week's show is going to be a hybrid of the Reggie Love and Shed Vibez, as we're going to be on site, Fayetteville, North Carolina.
Taste of West Africa.
I taste of West Africa, okay? We're going to be down there in Fayetteville, North Carolina, on site, interviewing people. There's going to be a whole strip of other food vendors and different things happening on this particular block of Fayetteville. Yeah, it's definitely
The
going to be
whole
crazy.
block shut down?
Yeah, the whole block is going to be shut down for sure. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to interviewing some of the people who may be coming through, in order to bring some awareness to this area.
And we gonna be live like we are.
And we're gonna be live like we are now. Okay, we might. Never know. We might have some live entertainment for that as well. You never know.
So I have to take some of that food. I know that.
Yeah,
Need a
absolutely.
free plate if you watch it.
A free. So then we can do a food review.
Food review, right?
Rated 1 through 10.
1 through 10.
Okay.
I'm gonna give my honest opinion.
An honest opinion, So that's what we have going on next week, and we have the in-person live session of Shed Vibez, and then I know it's a little early, but I just want to throw it out there. I want to throw it out there. Okay, so this year, in October, we're going to have a Haunted Vibes concert. Yes, you heard me right. A Haunted Vibes concert where you're gonna get some live entertainment. You can get a little food. You can be able to you can be able to dress in your bestest costume for your attempt and your chance to win a first place prize. Okay, we're gonna determine what that first place prize is, but I'm just letting you know now that as soon as you see the link drop to this event, go ahead and run them tickets up. Tell your friends and them. Tell all them. Come and tell you.
I missed the last. I ain't listening.
It's cool to have a DJ. Throw little parties and stuff like that. Yeah, cool. That's fine. Ain't nothing against that. But this is not like something that you are going to experience. You're getting a live band, maybe even two of them. Okay, you're gonna have some live entertainment there, as well as a DJ. Okay, we're gonna have both of them, the best of both worlds. October 31st. That's the night of Halloween.
That's
okay,
great.
October 31st. Okay, and more details about that's going to be coming soon. But I just want to plant that little bug in y'all ear, so y'all be going ahead and getting your stuff ready. Hey, look, it's about to be August already.
Hey,
It's about to be August already. Also, one more other thing. Also, next month, August 17th.
hey.
August 17th. Okay. Out at Seven Springs Wine and Vineyard, yours truly and Certified Vibes will be doing the 90s versus 2000s day event at that facility. And it is a beautiful wine and farm, a beautiful vineyard and farm. The people are very hospitable. They are very compassionate people, very caring. They took care of us last year when we went out there. They made sure we was comfortable and everything like that. So next month, the ticket is on sale for that now. Okay, August 17th at 2 p.m. 2 o'clock. Now, it might be hot, so you might want to bring your umbrella.
I definitely want to bring that.
You might want to bring that. Or you can buy your seats when you're under like the little gazebo, the little shed areas and stuff like that. So August 17th, 90s versus 2000s day event. Me and my band going to be bringing you all of the 90s, exclusively 90s music and nostalgia that you can feel up on. Okay?
That's going to be nice.
It's going to be nice. We aim to make you say, oh man, I remember when that song came out. Okay? We're gonna take you back down memory lane with a lot of this stuff. Take you back. Way back in time. Back in time. August 17th at Seven Springs Wine and Vineyard. Okay, so that's a few of the things that we have going on here between Unity One Media and there's going to be an assortment of other things to come concerning Unity One Media and our presence within the community. Because we love the community.
We love y'all.
We love the community. Okay? And we want you to love us as well. So, without further ado, we're going to take a little break. Then we're going to come back with the wild event video. Okay? And this is something you definitely going to want to stick around for.
I wish I had some headphones.
Yeah, you definitely need those two things. It's not buffering anymore. It's going smooth.
On
What you
YouTube.
do is share from YouTube.
It's smooth on YouTube
Yeah, share from YouTube
to Facebook.
Messenger. You can share to people on Messenger. You can share to different groups and stuff like that, where you just share directly to people. Yeah, so that'll be one thing I'm gonna do. If you can create a group, you can share directly to groups.
Are you ready to go back, Jack?
Yeah.
3, 2, you on.
Welcome back. Okay, so we're going to get straight into this wild event, okay? And this wild event, as I mentioned before, it's only one video. It's only one video. But you're going to want to pay attention. Y'all, listen, you can sit back as long as you want and pretend like that's them. That's them. I'm going to keep buying from here. I'm going to keep buying from there. You can sit back all you want and believe that until you get a hold of some of this stuff these people have gotten a hold of. Now, this is for entertainment purposes only, and don't mind the language, okay? Because these people have a right to be upset, okay? So we're gonna run that wild event.
All right, here we go.
Your screen is black,
Hmm?
and your screen is black.
What screen is black?
Under the impression that ice cream would melt after sitting out all night. Now it looks like somebody
screen
shit
is
in my
black?
sink that had really bad
Why? It ain't
night.
black over here.
About to make a salsa. Look at this. Freaking onion see-through, clear. Look at that. Pull it up. Look at that. What the hell?
Enough videos of toasting rubbery watermelon. I can't believe I got one. I got a rubbery watermelon. The texture is so weird. Like,
Mother was showing me that she opened the banana that she
All right.
thinks that are not real bananas.
See, I don't know when
We
this
got it from the supermarket, but when she opens it and she breaks it in half, it
How about
gets
now? Can you
very
hear me real good now?
tough and doesn't really break.
I'm watching the video.
And when it pulls, it's like it's glue.
You gotta be watching it 'cause I don't know the video.
Dog,
Yeah,
so
I'm
this
looking at
used
the
to be an
countdown
apple.
now. I just muted them
You're
lights.
not muting us 'cause I can
What the fuck is
You muted
this?
now.
This was an apple. Look at the stem.
So I was eating a nut.
Oh, I see why I could hear me. I see.
microphone on the computer.
Microphone on the computer.
And this video.
This video over here, I don't know what type of file it is, but OBS is struggling to play it.
Talk about blueprints. I think the video
The video what?
over.
No, it ain't. Might be froze, but I ain't over. I'm looking at it. It's got 23 seconds left on it.
It's not making any sound, man.
I can hear you talk.
Right. I don't know what type of
Absorbed the water and went back to its original shape.
And it reabsorbed everything, and it's back to normal. That's not fish.
run it back so that you can actively see what's been happening and what's going on in that video. Okay, but make no mistake about it. It is very troubling. Okay, it's very troubling to discover the things that these people have been discovering with their food. You know, it really is troubling because you just have to we just have to be mindful of what we buy. Okay, as far as shopping in these grocery stores and different things of that nature, you just got to be real careful. Okay,
Got to be careful.
you got to be more careful. Okay.
That's what I'm about.
So we're gonna try to run that video back once more, and hopefully you can get a full scale of how this food is affecting you.
Under the impression that ice cream would melt after sitting out all night. Now it looks like somebody's shit in my sink that had really bad diet.
About to make a salsa. Look at this. Freaking onion see-through, clear. Look at that. Pull it up. Look at that. What the hell?
Enough videos of people posting rubbery watermelon. I can't believe I got one. I got a rubbery watermelon. The texture is so weird. Like,
Mother was showing me that she opened the banana, that she thinks that these are not real bananas. We got it from the supermarket, but when she opens it and she breaks it, and it gets very tough and doesn't really break. And when it pulls, it's like it's glue.
Dog, so this used to be an apple. What the fuck is this? This was an apple. Look at the stem.
So I was eating a Nutter Butter and it tasted weird, so I took it apart. And tell me if I'm ridiculous. Does this or does this not look like styrofoam? Like, it tasted weird. It sounds weird.
Eat from Walmart. Uncooked chicken. I'm pulling the chicken off in chunks.
Somebody tell me what's going on at Coke. This is the third 6-pack that I've gotten that does this. They're not carbonated. They're
Dear Internet, first of all, I soaked this meat in a vinegar, and yes, it changed color. Like, it went from pink to brown. So I was like, okay, maybe it's just the vinegar that got in there. But why is this beef holographic?
And then I did this.
squeeze.
Squeeze. I squeezed it as hard as I could and look smaller and smaller and smaller.
Looks like a wet napkin.
Fall apart at all. And then watch this.
Careful with the food you buy. Absorb the water and went back
I
to
ran
its
it
original
under some
shape.
water, and it reabsorbed everything, and it's back to normal. That's not
Welcome back, and welcome back. Okay, and we want to welcome you again. Okay, and so we had to troubleshoot some things and all that other good stuff like that. But I think we good now.
Should be.
We should be good now. Okay. I'm sitting here monitoring. I'm not avoiding y'all. I'm watching from this perspective, okay, to make sure that we are communicating with our engineer and everything like that. So, but if you didn't see the video from what we just showed, it was a bunch of people who had discovered fake food. Like you heard me correct, fake food.
We already knew that though.
Watermelon that wasn't breaking, it was bending over like Play-Doh.
Rubbery watermelon.
Rubbery water. Try to say that fast 3 times.
Rubbermaid.
Okay. Bananas that wouldn't break. It was almost like it was glue that was holding it together.
That's only bananas now.
I inspect them. I still
eat yours.
Yeah, I put it in my little smoothies and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Smoothie.
Onions that look transparent upon cooking. Ice cream that didn't melt, and it's been several different types of ice cream, from Eddie's to the drumsticks, the little drumstick ice cream, not melting overnight, to even some packs of beef and chicken, when they try to wash it, it shreds like paper or turn a whole different color. And
that's that fake meat they was telling them they was gonna make it. They didn't believe they was gonna make it.
That's the clone meat. They already selling it. They didn't need our permission to sell it to us, because they pretty much just concluded that we would eat anything if we made it affordable. So they've been selling us that. Probably
they say don't wash your food. They don't want you to mess up.
They don't want you. Yeah. And I really, and this is for entertainment purposes only, but I really think they slid that into the market during the panoramic. You know what I'm saying? If you know what I mean by that,
just getting it delivered.
You just get it. Yeah. Because people weren't really out during those 2 years like that. So those truck deliveries to these grocery stores, stuff like that, it would have made it very, very easy to seamlessly slip that, this fake food in there like that.
They've been doing it forever.
They've been doing it.
Getting footage on it.
Exactly. And now that people are doing their due diligence and doing their investigative, research and reporting and things of that nature, they are capturing this stuff in order to make you aware of what you're buying. Now, make no mistake about it. You get on this internet and listen to people, the only thing we would be consuming is air. Okay.
Boy, it won't be eating nothing.
Won't be eating nothing. This
and
is
that'll
why
kill you.
And that'll kill you, right. And this is why we have to absolutely pray and check our food over whatever we buy. Okay. This is why we say grace. Okay. So that we can be wise enough to know if we're dealing with some good food or if we're dealing with the fake food. Check everything. Just don't buy things blindly. Don't buy things blindly. Check everything all the time. Read the labels, okay? If the word on the back of that food packaging got 12 syllables in it, don't buy it. Put it back. I don't care how good it tastes. Put it back, okay? If it's got words you ain't never even heard before, so the letters that are together that you ain't even know made a word.
Not a comma. What's that? A subtraction sign?
Yeah, but like if it's got a dash in the ingredient, put it back. Put it back. It's not worth it. Okay. There's tons of people who are selling real food. Visit your local farmers market.
Go get some of that real food.
Go get some of that real food. These are people who are working day in and day out every week, every day to harvest and grow real food.
I just found out that GMO is grown, genetically modified
organism. Yeah.
I was like, what?
Yeah. Yep, GMO. Yep, genetically. Now think about how much you've seen GMO on packages of food. Believe it or not, it's in soup. So I picked up a can of soup back in the winter, right?
They tell you soup for you to be sick.
Yeah.
Get out of here, man.
Get out of here. Progressive. Yeah, Progressive canned soup has it on there. As well as Campbell's. Yeah, Campbell's. It'll say genetically engineered for taste. Okay? So like we said,
you could be eating doo-doo, but they made it taste good.
Hey, look. Speaking of which,
hey, I seen it.
There was a story.
I had it on my show about the steak made out of doo-doo.
Yeah. Not only that, some women are flying to Dubai to get $14,000 US dollars to eat that. There was this one lady who is now fighting for her life and is begging for people to help her financially so she can live. But she went to try to get $14,000 over in Dubai by eating,
It ain't worth
you know, that fecal matter stuff.
Yeah, you ain't supposed to eat doo-doo. I don't care what it tastes like.
Listen, we are.
Listen to me.
This is still the same society who actually believed that they could inject themselves with bleach during the panoramic.
Man.
Okay, so it's a troubled world we live in when people have resorted to doing that. Okay,
hey,
and that's yeah. Watch as well as pray. That's the best thing I can say. Watch as well as pray. Okay, so that's been your wow events for this evening. Wow, pay attention. Okay, be aware. Okay,
that's all I need to taste my food these days. I just
it just
ain't even worth it.
It ain't even worth it. Okay,
Ain't even worth it.
It ain't even worth it. So now we're going to get into the topic of the night. Okay, we're gonna get into the topic of the night because I don't plan on holding you long, but I do want to educate you on some things. Okay, I do want to educate you on some things as well. So first thing first, what we mentioned earlier this show about the whole Trump situation.
Make America great again.
Make America great again, but for who? Okay, now I grew up watching WWF. I know what something staged look like. I know what actors look like.
Right.
Matter of fact, there was a highly trained special forces sharpshooter
on the roof
on Vlad talking about the calamity of security breakdown that is literally impossible. Least it was set up that way.
I'm gonna tell you something though. Watch this.
Mm-hmm.
He got his own security detail.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He didn't get the one that they gave him.
Yeah, he got his own. And then people that was sitting by, so people have been doing their investigative journalism, right? Replaying the video over and over and over again. They're paying attention. That was pointing out people that was behind them that was doing these strange signals with the sign.
You seen the signs too?
Yeah.
I was trying to tell somebody. The lady held up the Biden sign, and 3 seconds later, pow, she drops it, and then she's recording.
And then she pulled out her phone and just started recording, unfazed. Everybody ducking and screaming. It was her, and then there was one more other guy on like his, what this would be like his top left side, unfazed. He was just standing there like, this is pretty crazy. Like now. I don't know if any of you are from the hood, okay? But traditionally, if you hear gunshots, you got two options.
Hey.
Run the opposite direction or hit the ground.
Hit the ground.
Run the opposite direction or hit the ground. Okay? You do not stand up and be like, man, what is going on, guys? What's happening? And you definitely don't, man, this is crazy right here. You just look at all these people ducking. What they ducking for? Okay, you don't. Those are two no-nos. Okay,
Man.
Those are two no-nos. And to my perspective, he might have been shooting a BB gun for all we know.
Man, let me tell you something.
Because how you that accurate to just snip his ear, and then the kicker is they didn't immediately get him up out of there. He had to raise up on a majestic
and through his black power
capture moment to throw his fist up just as the American flag was in the background.
I don't even know if you seen the audio on it because the audio said, wait.
Yeah. Absolutely insane. Look, I'm just saying.
I don't know how many black people was in the crowd, but they was watching.
They was watching. Okay. And I'm just saying, I wasn't there. But it's a lot of fishy, mysterious stuff that's going on with that.
Let me tell you something. Ain't no way I'm a sniper on this roof, and you a sniper on that roof, and you able to shoot, and you ain't supposed to be up here. That's all I'm saying.
Not only that, more eyewitnesses have
They was
released their
recording it.
video.
Look, he's on the roof.
He's on the roof. Hey,
Look,
can
does
somebody
anybody
get
see
the police? Look at him. He's on the roof. You got other people spectating and saying, "Hey, look at that guy. He don't look like he a part of any type of special force." Like, you know, and conveniently, no one that was security and police, they was all oblivious simultaneously.
It was staged, man.
They were all oblivious at the same time. What really? That happened? When? We didn't see no guy.
Man.
No guy. We didn't see that. So that special forces sharpshooter said security detail don't happen like that. He said they typically get there 2 to 3 days ahead of time. And they map out the whole area. What's a blind spot? What's a dangerous spot?
Hide?
What's a high spot to get? What's a low spot to get? What's a very protective area to go in and to flow in the event of an emergency? You know what I'm saying? So these people, security detail, go there 2 or 3 days ahead of time.
When the president come to North Carolina, they blocking off whole roads a block away. You mean to tell me he all the way over there, but you blocking the road off
all the way over
here?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah. And not only are they blocking the road off all the way over here, it's security, armed security detail
Come on, man.
right there. Like I said, I watched WWF growing up. I remember this one episode of WWF. It's WWE now. I remember this one episode of WWF. Where Stone Cold Steve Austin came into the arena in a giant monster truck.
I remember that.
Rolling over cars, and it looked like he was rolling over people. Okay, the level of high planned entertainment was uncanny. Then was this other episode with Stone Cold was just harassing Vince McMahon to such degree where they made it look like Vince McMahon had just got into his limo
and blew up.
I
seen that.
There was another time where Stone Cold flipped the limo over with a forklift, with allegedly him on the inside.
Right.
Okay. And I remember as a kid, this is the craziest thing I've ever seen on television.
Right. Hype.
I cannot believe this.
Right.
But they made you believe that it was real. They made you believe that it was real.
And next week, there go Vince McMahon.
There go Vince McMahon. A neck brace on. That's the only thing he had on. Just
an explosion.
But he just came out unscathed with a neck brace on.
With a neck brace. Okay.
Okay. So all I'm saying is, if you can persuade people to forget reality, what's actually happened, you can paint them whatever picture you want to paint them. It happens just about every day.
Yeah.
You know, there's over 1,500 or more persuasive appeals that we see every day in some shape, form, or fashion. You don't think they've already got it calculated for how they can, manipulate you on what you the narrative now is that they want you to or at least they're trying to persuade you to say that what you see is a conspiracy theory.
Hey.
They're trying to say that
they didn't believe in conspiracy theories.
The truth, what you're actually seeing with your eyes, isn't really happening.
Hey, man. Better wake up.
And they're continuously pushing that narrative day by day. Day by day.
Hey, man, the more, I'm going to tell you something. They not after our demise. They already got that. That's already set up. They are after the demise of the younger generation now. Our plan and foil is already in place. We just got to try to pass the test and avoid all the different tests.
Right.
But they setting it up for the younger generation.
Absolutely. And because the younger generation came up with this technology, this is all they ever known. So this is all that they are
Wait
on.
till the internet go down.
Just, you know what I mean? And it's crazy because we remember when it was a different era of internet. Okay, we remember when the internet was dial-up.
I remember when internet first came out.
And that's true. That is very true. Okay, now I'm a couple years younger.
Another man probably tells us he remember when it first came out.
Yeah. there was another man in this room that remember when cell phones came out. Okay, so listen, you have these.
In the dinosaur room that early.
Yeah, look, It's cross generations that have watched these things happen from its inception. So this is an election year. This is an election year.
All the breaks coming
It's
out.
a pattern that happens every election year where there's something huge that happens to sway the voters in one way or the other. Okay, it is. I mean, if you aren't accustomed to the script now, I don't know what you've been paying attention to.
Gun violence is big on the list. You can see that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's been happening quite. They're going to push it to such degree where people say, "I just feel safer giving you these arms." Well, you would be going against what the forefathers established for our protection, and that is because they knew then that it was some radical individuals they were serving with who they gonna need to be put in place. And what if we gave up all of that right to protect ourselves? Then you will have a class of people who can only ever be obedient. Okay, so like you said, gun violence. That's all they've been throwing at you. Gun violence.
Trying to get the black vote.
Trying to get the black vote, and then you have the sexuality race that's in your face. They're throwing that as well. Then you have what many people have been saying or talking about, Project 2025.
Hey, that's a crazy one right there.
And they are projecting that Trump is supposed to be the issuance or usher that in if he was to win.
But here's the deal: what people keep missing. It ain't Trump, man.
It's not.
It ain't Biden.
It's not.
It's Democrat and Republican. The Republican agenda is whatever they want to put out there if Trump wins. If Biden wins, it's going to be whatever they want to put out there. And they are just puppets to signing that paper.
Absolutely. And so we're used to seeing them filibuster each other all day long, all the time, right? But on certain issues, they come together like one.
Oh, yeah.
And have unanimous
Not when
landslide
Obama was
decisions.
in, though, but I get it.
Yeah, right. You know what I'm saying? They have unanimous landslide decisions, on things that are beneficial to them, like tax cuts and tax breaks. They don't argue back and forth with who gets the benefits of that, because they both get the benefits of that. It is the average everyday working individual who will still suffer as a result of these people. But again, I'm gonna remind you all, this is the year of election. Okay, so this whole Trump situation is not the only thing that's gonna happen between now
don't let them
and
pull
November.
that wool over your eyes.
Don't let them pull that wool over your eyes, no matter how persuasive they could be at selling you. These people ain't smart. They just know how to sell, okay? They just know how to sell. But if you know how to read through what I learned is called the fluff, you can see what their real agenda is about, okay? Now, here's the thing. Voting, okay? Voting Rights Act. I want to learn you something. Pay attention. I'm gonna learn you some stuff real quick. I gotta run it down real quick, okay? So the Voting Rights Act of 1965. It was established by President Lyndon B. Johnson. Okay, it sent a voting rights bill to Congress. It provided for direct federal intervention to enable African Americans to register and vote, and banned tactics long designed to keep them from the polls. What are those tactics? The same type of tactics that they tried to reintroduce before the pandemic. Via aptitude tests, via showing your identification in order to vote. This is why you had people fighting against that, because these were tactics that they had in place before. Now, here's the thing.
Watch this. Let me say something on that one right there. Because, at the end of the day, that's important, because the people who are out there cheating are using that to their advantage and not using ID. So, it works both ways when you think about it.
It definitely works both ways, okay? Now, the thing that I want to mention about this Voting Rights Act of 1965, this was just 1 year after the Civil Rights Act of 1964 was established. So before 64, African American votes were non-existent.
Wow.
We weren't people at all. So the Civil Rights Act
That's
of
not too long ago.
1964, that's not too long ago. We all know somebody in their 50s. Think about it. They put it in black and white because this is how they want you to use cognitive dissonance to separate yourself from reality. Okay, we have parents and grandparents that are in their 50s, 60s who remember they wasn't even allowed to show up to a voting poll.
Wow.
Prior to 1964. The Civil Rights Act of 1964 was simply to tell the people who are discriminating against us to just be civil, just let me live and be a human. It was the establishment of citizenship. And then just a year later, you have the Voting Act rights of 1965, which allow African Americans to have a voice to vote at that point. But we weren't still considered people enough to where our vote could actually change something in our community.
And guess what?
Right?
Expires to this day periodically.
And the act expires, I believe, every 5 years they have to amend it, or every.
But that's why the 2025 is so important, because it's coming around that time where they need to re-sign,
where they have to re-sign it, where they have to renew it, where they have to update it. It's coming about that time. Now, many of you don't know. We don't pick the president. The 538 electoral college members pick the president and the vice president. They've always have. This isn't a democracy we live in. This is a republic we live in. And for those of you who don't know the difference, when you say your pledge of allegiance, you don't say right. Democracy. The people make the decision. The people run the government. In a republic, a small body of people make decisions for everybody, for the masses. Okay. Now, the founding fathers created the Electoral College because they didn't trust ordinary citizens to be informed enough to adequately pick the president. They also worried that citizens would band together based on personal interests rather than the overall good of the nation. It was only ever supposed to have been temporary that the Electoral College was a part of the Constitution. It was only supposed to be temporary as a buffer, just to kind of even the playing field with states that had a large population versus states who had a little bit of population. Okay, so this is why the Electoral College was created. And if you don't know, you yourself, as an American citizen, can run to be one of the 538
I'm about to run
members
for president.
For an Electoral College. Look, I'm about to run for president too at
I'm
this
about
point.
to run for president.
You know,
I just want to be in the cabinet.
I just put me on the ballot. Okay. Now, here's what the opposition is against the Electoral College. The opponents of the Electoral College are further concerned about its possible role in depressing voter turnout. Their argument is that since each state is entitled to the same number of electoral votes, regardless of its voter turnout, there is no incentive in the states to encourage voter participation. Now, I can understand that. I can understand that to a good degree, because in the Voter Right Act 1965, 57 years since the Voter Right Act of 1965 has been established. Just 57 years. We all know someone who is at least 57 years old, 55, 56. We know someone who's 57 years old or older, or a little older. That wasn't that long ago. Man, so you can see how the calamity of errors that still exist with the whole voting system in and of itself. How can you depend and trust on something that's still kind of relatively young in nature, you know? And not only that, when it comes to voting, it is your right to do so. If you feel like you want to do it, do it. If you feel like you don't want to do it, you don't have to do it.
They always want to go sit down in that only restaurant.
Right.
When they don't even want you in a restaurant.
Right. They just want your money in that restaurant. Okay. And don't you allow someone to persecute you or chastise you because you didn't vote, but you have your own perspective on voting and candidates and things of that nature. Okay. Because to my understanding, there's no one who is highly adequately, politically adept to say who can and can't speak on certain things. Either we have freedom of speech or we don't. Okay. Now here's the last fact I want to give them. Here's the last fact I want to give them. Okay. In 57 years of having the ability to vote, there's one community, one group of people who's been at the bottom of the wealth gap ever since. You gonna tell me that in 57 years we didn't vote for change? Okay, so in 2021, this is just what, 2 years ago, 3 years ago?
3 years ago. Not long.
In 2021, the median wealth of a Caucasian non-Hispanic household was $250,400, while the median wealth of a Black household was $24,520, giving the Caucasian household 10 times more wealth than Black households. Wow. In 2022, the average wealth of white families was over $1.4 million, while the average wealth of Black families was $211,596, giving white families 6 times the wealth of Black families. In 2021, households with a white householder made up of 65% of all U.S. Population. These households, that was only 65.3% of the U.S., held 80% of all wealth. Those with a Black household made up of 13.6%. This is the 13% of the U.S. population they say we are. Okay. These Black households only held 4.7% of all wealth in the United States. And that's according to the census.gov. So 65% of the Caucasian household in the United States held 80% of the wealth, while the 13% of the Black families household only held 4.7% of the wealth in these United States.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow. I'm gonna tell you something. It's one thing I hate about numbers.
Yeah.
And that's this.
Mm-hmm.
Numbers don't lie, but they can be fluffed and make it sound like they. One thing, Black people are the majority. You just been told that we're the minority.
Mm-hmm.
All the numbers that they've calculated together are set to be for us to be the lowest. There's no way we have the biggest spending power, but we the poorest.
But we the poorest.
How
does that work?
That part just doesn't make sense to me.
Okay.
Now we have the most people to account for in America, so they just gonna make up anything they want to make up anyway. Just like they made up the map and said this country was this size. This
right.
They make up everything, man.
Right.
Slice my ear, I'm bleeding. I mean,
and they tell you it was somebody else. Now we got a little Trump footage we want to show you, but before we show you that little Trump footage, I want to express that I believe that same sentiment. We're at 13.6% of the population, but they say by 2025 we're going to have $1.6 trillion worth of money that we spend with this economy. Look. Sometimes the math ain't
numbers
math.
Just get you confused.
The numbers just, but in the essence of this wealth gap based on the premises of these people promising us better pay, better this, better that, it is the access to wealth that we are being denied from getting to. It's not that we're not intelligent enough. We know that's a lie. We know that's a lie. A lot of society, nearly all of society, historically speaking, has been built from people who have this skin tone. Okay, so it's not that we aren't adept enough, intelligent enough, smart enough, cunning, courageable enough. It is the denial by positioned people, designated positioned people, that prevents us to that access to wealth, to close that gap. But you're not going to sit here and tell me that in 57 years with our ability to vote, that nobody said, hey, we need to put this on the ballot to eliminate this giant wealth gap difference in order for this community to have a better fighting chance.
It's tough. See, watch this. Just because they gave you the ability to vote didn't mean they gave you the ability on what to put to vote on.
To put exactly. That's a whole nother fight.
You can let me vote all day.
Yeah.
But if the people that's putting the stuff out for me to vote on ain't putting nothing in my favor, it'll make me a bit of difference.
Yeah. And then you have those people that keep trying to trace it back in the essence of, well, that's because you have to go and vote for your local politicians and vote for your judicial, your executive branch, and this, that, and the third. But let me tell you something. I get people run up on me all day at Walmart and Target and everywhere else trying to get me to register to vote for the primaries, for the presidents. But I don't have nobody running up on me
who the locals is.
Talking about who the locals is. I don't have nobody trying to tell me when these board meetings and these things of that nature are happening so that I can attend as a citizen. I mean, maybe it is for you. I'm just saying for me, I haven't seen it. And I've been able to vote since I was 18. Okay. So, but we had this Trump footage we're going to show you right here. And let me know what your thoughts is.
Tired of feeling sluggish and drained? Discover the surprising link between cellular health and your energy levels.
Welcome back. Okay, so we just showed you the actual Trump video. Okay, and he had his fist raised in the air. He had his fist raised vividly in the air. Okay, just to show you his empowerment of him standing strong and him standing powerful and all of that stuff, okay? And he continued to throw his fist in the air of solidarity, strength, power, and all of that stuff that you would say or think or any of that whatsoever, okay? So you have this situation where they put this in front of you and then they give you a narrative of what you want to believe. And then you have people arguing back and forth on the legitimacy of this situation. You have people arguing back and forth over, like no one that's ever ran for presidency before had an assassination attempt on their life and been arrested and acquitted of the charges and all this other type stuff. You know, I heard this comedian say that Trump is more black than some black folks. Okay. So it is really an interesting thing when you hear and you see people that debate back and forth over the legitimacy of what happened to Trump, along with several other things that have happened surrounding this. You know, it's really a very uncandid thing to think about when you take into consideration what Trump was faced with before he started getting on his presidential run again. You know, a lot of folks thought he was going away for a very, very long time. Okay, they you know, there were some folks that really believed that, oh yeah, he's charged with this, he's charged with that. He's got, I think they said at one point he had like 63 potential charges or 63 charges that they was trying to pin against him. And right soon, seems like as soon as they were about to find something that stuck, the Supreme Court instantly rolled out a ruling saying, hey, we see what y'all doing, but if we do this to this president, we would have to do this to every president before Trump. Okay. And the rule that they rolled out, or the law that they rolled out, is that no sitting president, that if he participated in any crimes while as a seating president, he could not be charged for his crimes after leaving the office. So essentially, it's like Trump has a brand new clean slate, free from any of the allegation and charges that they were trying to pin against him, which is the reason for him being able to run for president again, because he essentially has a brand new slate to work with now. This is why he's in the primaries. This is why he's in the RNC. Now, I haven't done my due diligence to see who else is in the Republican race, because all I ever been seeing so far is Trump in the primaries as a primary candidate to run against Biden.
Well, see, there's a reason why presidents have been impeached before, but none has went to jail that I know of. I mean, Ronald Reagan in the Contra hearings, he assisted, but he denied the knowledge of trading arms for hostages. But go all the way back to the 70s. What's his name? Richard Nixon. Yeah. The whole Watergate scandal, selling classified documents to foreign countries and things of that nature. He was impeached, and he actually had to leave office, but he didn't get
arrested.
He didn't get arrested because you can't indict a seating president, and all the nonsense that Trump did, he did it as a seated president, which is a law, by the way, that probably should come off the book. Think about this. If I can become, quote, and I use this term lightly, the leader of the free world, and I'm exempt from being charged with a crime, you know how much horror I could do while I was in there?
Quite a bit.
You know how much horror I could do?
Quite a bit.
If I'm exempt from being indicted. And then once I get out of the office, a bunch of Supreme Court justices that I put in place say, well, yes, they were crime, but he did them while he was in office. So unless he do something while he's out of office, there's nothing we can do. Well, he is doing something. After he was out of office, he still held on to documents that
classified documents. Yeah.
So I don't know how they figured out that one, but let me just say this: Unity One Media, we're delighted that we don't root for someone to catch a bullet in the line of work. We're not rooting for a pew pew and someone to get unalived, and not even a nut, because we know that, at the end of the day, we elect CEOs of this corporation called America. But I don't think it's, but we just on the outside looking in. I don't know if it's serious enough to wish that someone would lose their life for it, but it has happened before. It has happened before. This will not be the first president that somebody fire a shot at, and it may not be the last. I remember when I was a kid, Ronald Reagan got shot. And one of his guards, I think Brady was one of his guards. I can't remember what his official title was, but he got shot in the head. He got, I'm sorry, I think on YouTube you ain't supposed to be saying shot. You got to say he got pew-pewed in the head.
Yeah, pew-pewed.
And so it's not the first and it's not the last. I'm grateful and I'm glad that whoever employed this guy, or if he employed himself or whatever the case might be, that he was not a great shot. Hate anybody had to lose their life, but it's just like when you become a fireman.
Right.
You know, at some day you're gonna have to run in a burning building.
Yeah.
And the odds are just as great of you not coming out alive as going in alive.
Right.
So when you choose an occupation like a construction worker that works on skyscrapers, you got a harness, but anything can happen. You can fall from the 17th story of a building. It's happened before. So we're not rooting for something to happen to him, but it's the line of work that he's in. But there are legitimate questions.
Yeah.
They're legitimate questions. How did you get a sniper pew-pew in the RNC close enough to get off a shot? We got drones. There were helicopters in the air, secret services, private security. And you telling me one 20-year-old kid made it past all that
20-year-old kid.
and was good enough to actually get locked and loaded and fire off a pew-pew? That's a lot of legitimate questions.
It is a lot of legitimate questions, and I don't really think that anyone is addressing them at all. I think that they're treating this situation much like they've done a plethora of other situations before, where they just pretty much sweep it under the rug, or let's move it along here, folks. There's nothing to see. We know you have questions, but we don't care to answer them. And there's one thing for certain, two things is for sure: the evil that occurs in this country and around a lot of this stuff. One day they're going to have to make an atonement for what they have done. Someone's going to have to answer legitimately for the things that they have done and for the way that they have treated the American people. Now, I'd say this for me pertaining to voting, okay? This is just my opinion pertaining to voting. For me, I'd like to hold my vote until I discover a candidate that is actually for the people, legitimately for the people. Now, that may seem like a bit of a fantasy, but it's not impossible, because the candidates that are on the ballot are funded by other businesses that have agendas, and they are funded by other individuals, like it could be celebrities, anyone who is wealthy, to push whatever personal narratives that they have. It only takes money to sponsor someone till they get to the point of making it to the ballot. This is how these people make the ballot. They have people funding their campaign. They have people spending money on their marketing campaign. They go on tours to talk to the people about things that matter the most to them. And again, as I mentioned before, with the African American community having a spending power of $1.6 trillion, we can't find nobody to invest in for us that can put things, put laws on the books, pass laws on the books, suggest laws to be placed on the books for our better protection. From abusive law enforcement to anything else that would warrant a high level of harassment to the community. Now, let me be clear. Police brutality and all of that happens to a litany of different races and culture. However, per channel ABC 11 News, which they reported on this about 3 years ago, minorities that are African American have a 3 to 6 times more likelihood being not only pulled by an officer, but it ending in some type of calamity as well. Okay, now, some may say, yeah, these numbers could be fluff. They could be this, they could be that. Well, if we're taking that same approach, then I can just go in the bank and say, hey, I know I got $62 in there, but can you fluff it up a bit to make it $620? So we cannot trail mix, and we cannot pick and choose what logic applies to. Because what you do with one, you have to then apply that same type of knowledge to more than one type of situation, because nothing is ever monolithic. Nothing is ever in just a single black and white tunnel vision perspective. Everything is on a spectrum and it's going in infinite directions. So think logically, think sharply, raise your awareness, ask questions. Ask questions, gain understanding. Okay, with this being a very important year for the American people, where they don't really like, Trump or Biden, but they know they have to vote in some way, shape, form, or fashion, I can see that there is a divide within our community over this situation. And it's only going to become more progressive as we trend towards the election later this year. Study up on these people, see what types of policies that they're trying to implement once they either by Biden's take, get reelected, or by Trump's take, get elected again. And if you don't feel either person fits your benefit, as an American citizen, you have a right to hold your vote. Do what's best for you and your household, and make the most optimal decisions that you can. And my final thoughts is this, because I told you I wasn't going to keep you long, okay? My final thoughts is this. From the fake food aspects of the Wow Event segment that we did, to the video of Trump potential assassination attempt, to this all being a voting year, to the Project 2025 agenda that's floating around, as that's just one project that they are working on. There's actually several of them. Do your due diligence and research what else is happening out there. But Project 2025, that's just the very tip of the iceberg. There's several agendas that they're trying to implement. And if it was up to them, they would implement it all at the same time. So do your due diligence, research, study, read daily, something informational that you can bring to your group around you, that you can teach to someone, that you can, forewarn someone about. This is a very interesting year in and of itself, with it being an election year. So you definitely have to stay looking out for the things that is coming our way as American citizens. Support one another, love one another, stay unified in the midst of everything that's happening, because united we stand, divided we fall. This has been an episode of Shared Vibes. We're going to catch you next week on site in Fayetteville, North Carolina. And we're going to have the details as to what time that show starts as well. And I'm looking forward to that as well. Okay, I'm definitely looking forward to that. So stay tuned. Stay following me on Facebook. You can follow me at Facebook at Cameron Bullock, like Sandra Bullock. You can find me at Cameron Bullock on Facebook. And on Instagram, you can find me at steadycam_6. And with that being said, peace, love, and hair grease. Good night, y'all.